Our NBA Draft Scouting Report series continues here on the Supers Media YouTube channel. Today, we're looking at Utah center Branden Carlson. Riley, he was very productive for Utah. He's also 25 years old already. One of the older prospects in this draft class, maybe the oldest prospect in this draft class. He has a pretty solid all-around game, but if you had to describe it in one word, what would that word be?
I cheated and used a hyphenated word as I've been prone to do on these channels and this breakdowns. Pick and pop, because I think that's going to be his key to sticking in the league. His form is like a little unorthodox, but like you said, he's been very productive. Made 64 threes last year, averaged almost two made a game. And that, in my opinion, is when he looks at his best. That's his most projectable role in the NBA.
Yeah, he averaged 17 points per game last season, 6.5 boards, which was certainly fine. Um, but the 3-point shooting is the major draw there. He averaged a block and a half per game because he's 7 feet tall. 220 pounds, not the strongest. I put limited as his word,
Mm-hmm.
and it plays into the pick and pop as well. I think he is limited to something of a pick and pop kind of role. He's not going to dominate games on the glass. He's not going to dominate games down low, protecting the rim. He can do those things, but that may come in spurts. If he makes an impact to the NBA, it's going to be as a 3-point shooting big man. So does that make him more likely, you think, to his floor or his ceiling in the
I'm
NBA?
very much in the floor category. I think he might have a shot to stick around for a couple seasons because, again, size and shooting are always going to be valuable in the NBA, and those are his two best attributes, being a 38% shooter as a true 7-footer. Will at least get him a shot. But, yeah, you mentioned some of the limitations. He's not like the worst shot blocker in the world, but also most of his bigger, like, block shot production games, again, you have to factor in that he was 25 years old. Like
Yeah.
he had the age advantage. Yeah, to me it seems, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but
Yeah.
I think he'll be a great overseas pro.
We will get there. Yeah, I think he's more likely to hit his floor as well. And it's tougher when we're getting down later in our big board. He is 66 rated overall on our big board, so he's not projected to be drafted by us at Sleepers. Um, I don't know how high his ceiling is, so if you wanted to pitch me on him being able to hit a low ceiling, I think that's fine. But I'm far more in the floor camp as well than I am ceiling, because I the limited word I brought up before, right? It is very much going to be fit dependent on his ability to hit that ceiling, and a team that can get the most out of his 3-point shooting and kind of cover up some of the other limitations he has. Who is the best team fit? Might be signing with somebody as an undrafted free agent. We do not project him to be drafted, but what team would be the best fit for Branden Carlson?
If I was him as an undrafted free agent, I'd be trying to get a two-way from the Thunder or something, or just go through the summer league with them. Because if you look at their history, I mean, great developmental programs, and they've had success with these 7-foot shooting types. If you look at like Mike Muscala, for instance,
Yeah.
that's the mold that you want to follow if you're Branden Carlson.
I went with the Grizzlies. I would be scared the Thunder have too many other draft picks that I'm gonna get played over. But
Fair.
certainly a good developmental. The Grizzlies to me are a team that in recent history have had a lot of success with older college players and experienced college players. Carlson would probably be the oldest of that group at 25, again coming into the league. Um, but they've shown an ability to go deep in their bench. They've shown an ability to develop and get a lot out of experienced college players and figure out how to get them to fit. And with a skill like Carlson shooting, I think that there's potential there. His peak year in the NBA, we're doing this with all of our top 75 prospects. His best year in the NBA, what does that look like from a statistical standpoint?
Yeah, maybe I spoke a little out of turn saying he could stick around for 2 to 3 years. I'll give him like, he'll have 5 years at it. In one of those years, he'll get you like 7 points per game, shoot 38% from three, maybe chip in 3 or 4 rebounds.
Oh, my, for me, it's just 2 points a game and then
Oh, wow.
less than one across
You're
the
way
board.
lower.
Yeah, like I think he could make an NBA roster. but I don't see him being anything more than like a spot minute guy. I don't know if he's going to crack the rotation, which plays into where I think he'll be in 5 years. You kind of mentioned it before. In 5 years, I think he's overseas. I think 5 years will also be 30, but I think his game and that shooting is more built for the international mold, given the fact that he's limited everywhere else and doesn't have elite athleticism. I think he's got a much better chance of making significant money overseas than in the NBA or even the G League. So I think overseas would be probably the best option, the most realistic option for him in 5 years.
Yeah, overseas is exactly where I'm at as well. So
Okay, well, we'll end with his yearbook style superlative. We're doing this for all the top 75 prospects. Branden Carlson is the most likely to what?
okay, because I said I'll give him a few years in the NBA here and there. Most likely to have a good stretch of NBA games, like a 10-game stretch or something, where it's like, wow, maybe let's say it's the Thunder found something with Branden Carlson and immediately turn into a meme because he's got the long hair, he's got the headband, pretty handsome dude. Like I could see him just getting deep fried or something like that, with the
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
got lit up by Branden Carlson, like those type of memes.
those kind of memes. I think you could see that. I think mine is at least half of it is in the same kind of vein. I think he's most likely to be released the day after the coach says he's doing all the right things and is happy with his progress. Because he strikes me as like there's nothing wrong with him. He's not like you don't have off court concerns. He doesn't have a history of that. Doesn't have a history of anything other than being a hard worker. But again, I go back to that word of limited. He's not necessarily an NBA player. So he strikes someone to me, the coach is just like, yeah, we like him, what he's bringing to the table. He's working hard. He's doing all the right things. Then you get the little note in the ESPN ticker that Branden Carlson has been released by this team. That's what we're working with.
I like that. I like that a lot.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media Big Board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.